How many Snoopies have you made today? 3. Well, that leaves you 997 off from the pace that we're supposed to have. Your daily quota. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. It's okay, keep going. And left and right and oh dear. I can't make toys as fast as the other elves. I can't dance like the other elves. I'm not a good elf. I'm a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins. You're not a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins. You're a good elf. And I am a dentist.
Guys, so if you haven't guessed from our costumes or from our little intro, we are going to discuss the movie and the sideways adaptation for Elf. That's another reason you might have guessed it, because yeah. I actually, to be quite honest, never wanted to watch this movie, ever. I have nothing against Will Ferrell as a person. I'm sure he's a lovely person. Do not like his type of humor. So anything embarrassing, anything that can be a little crude, I don't go for it. It doesn't make me laugh. It just makes me want to leave the room. She had been trying to get me to watch Elf for years now, probably since it came out. Which, when did it come out? Since 2003. You would have watched it as soon as it came out because you love Will Ferrell. We have different sense of humor. But yeah, I had no interest in watching this movie. But I watched it today for you guys.
The pain she goes through for her work.
Right? But actually I did enjoy it. It was fun. It's not his typical type of humor, and I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It was a good story. There's a little bit of embarrassing humor, but nothing that I couldn't handle. I don't regret it. And I even had to buy it to watch it, because it's not streaming on any...
Yeah, I think we have it on DVD somewhere.
I don't typically buy movies that I've not wanted to watch for the past 17 years. And everyone was always telling... It wasn't just Michelle. Everyone has been telling me for years, oh, you've got to watch Elf. And I've just been like, no. No. I have no interest. Will Ferrell, if you're watching, thumbs up, dude. I liked the movie. But we're here to discuss the movie and the book it was adapted into, which is called Adapting Sideways. So this is kind of the opposite direction from the adaptations that we've been doing. This is the book it was adapted into, and the film was written by David Berenbaum and illustrated by Kim Smith, but it was adapted, where does it say? Oh, sorry. I remember. It was adapted by Rebecca Gyllenhaal, or Gyllenhaal, depending on how she pronounces it. It's basically trying to cover an hour-and-a-half movie, get the tone, get the majority of the story down, and it doesn't have page numbers. In this thick of a book. There isn't like, it's not like each page is full of writing.
It's the typical book, like
picture with writing
lines on each page.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job, just my opinion. This is the first time I've watched the movie, so it's not an expert opinion.
Well, I don't know, isn't that basically what, I mean, you watch the movie, you read a book, and you think, oh, yeah.
We were talking about it before we started recording, and this one here told me that she thought that there were some missing spots. There were missing spots, but she felt like there was some stuff that shouldn't have been missing. So,
well, not so much that there was things missing. I think things had to be explained a little bit more, because we always talk about knowing your audience, right? We've always talked about different movies. Well, they knew their audience and this is how they geared it. This is for children, and you have to keep in mind that they are little sponges. They're taking things in, they're assessing it, they're figuring things out. And there's a couple parts in the book, like in the movie, he comes in and says to his dad, "Oh, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He goes into the meeting and says that. And his dad had been really stressed out about his job. There's all this background with that you know.
And his
you know,
boss is there.
There's a lot of pressure on him. He could lose his job if this meeting doesn't go well. And his dad, out of frustration, told him to get out, right? And said other things too, "I don't care," and this and that. But, you know, he, out of frustration, said these things. And it shows, like, Buddy leaves and he's hurt and he's upset. But it shows that his dad in his office, and you can see he's regretting what he said, and he's like shaking his head, and he's like, "Oh, why did I do that?" type of thing, right? That is not depicted in the book. His dad is in the book is very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
Literally.
It's a children's book, right? But the problem is that in the book, his dad gets mad, his dad doesn't care about him, all these things, right?
Yeah, kids need to see.
And he lashes out, tells him to get out. Then all of a sudden there's a change, and you know where the change is? After Buddy runs away. Leaves a note, runs away, his brother comes and tells Dad, "Buddy's missing," and his dad's like, "Oh, my son, you know what?" And he leaves, the boss doesn't want him to leave, then he leaves. And he says, "Nothing's more important than finding my son." I don't think that's a great idea. You're not giving children, we need to give them good possible solutions to problems, right?
Yeah.
And that is not a good solution.
As well as explaining better why it
About
happened in
his
the
dad.
first place.
You know, even when he
Like
said
why?
there, yeah, like his dad, even if after the scene where he tells him to get out, right, in the book, if it says, "Buddy's dad felt bad about what he said. He didn't mean it."
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, something
You know, I
to-
mean, probably think of something better.
Plus
than
the fact that it was just too cut and dry. It was too, like, angry. And then Michael shows up and, "Oh, woe is me, I've got to find my son."
all because
and-
Buddy ran away.
Yeah.
I had issues with that. I had issues about Dad always being mean.
They didn't even have him smiling in any of the pictures. Like
Yeah.
when they're having sex. And he wasn't in the book, in the movie, but they were able to flesh it out better and explain better. And he was kind to him when he was
kind
at
and
the
gentle with him.
when he took him to work with him.
Yeah.
Buddy was trying to be like his dad, or just trying to not complain, and the secretary gave him a cup of coffee. He's drinking the coffee, and I feel him, because I like my coffee sweet too. And she probably didn't put any sugar in it. Maybe it was even black, and he's drinking, he's like,
Yeah.
and his dad just kind of looks at him. He's like, "Buddy," and Buddy looks up and he says, "You don't have to drink that." And I think part of it was that his dad didn't want him to have the caffeine. But
No
he was
sugar.
also very kind
Sugar
to
high
him.
with candy.
Yeah. He was also very kind about it. And then he didn't really get upset until Buddy grabbed the phone when it rang and said, "Hi, you've reached Buddy
Yeah, he
Elf."
said, "Hello, Buddy
the
Elf."
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? And then the person hung up. Even then the dad was nice about it and just said, and we've all done it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, "Oh, do you want to go and do this? This would be lots of fun."
In the shiny
And
mail room.
yeah, the shiny mailroom. They put things in shiny bins, and they did. And he totally romanticized it. But he gets down there and is like, "This doesn't. Are you sure this is the right place? Is there another mailroom?" No. He was nice about it.
Yeah.
And it didn't even show him when they called him, because Buddy was dancing up a storm in the mailroom and everyone's cheering and they got the music blasting, and his phone meeting was interrupted because of this happening. He didn't get all mad at Buddy, or it might be in deleted scenes, I don't know. But it just kind of cut to Buddy going to meet Jovi for their first date. He wasn't an ogre, he wasn't a monster, and James Caan, I really love that actor, made me see again how much Scott Caan from Hawaii Five-O looks like his dad. You see it in the episodes when his dad is on Hawaii Five-O, had a guest appearance a couple times. Yeah, he played a PI, it was cool. But I'm watching this movie and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many similarities between them. He was able to show the three-dimensional, the different sides to this guy. He wasn't evil, he wasn't mean or nasty, he was just a workaholic. And he was stressed about his work. Like his boss was a freaking bully. He was always stressed about getting the right book published. I could help out with that. It fleshed out the character a lot better in the movie, which is understandable because it's a short book, but even one scene, one or two little scenes with a couple lines and a facial expression that isn't like, would have helped. Yeah.
Also, another thing, when he first got to New York, and it is true that he did this, he ran circles through the revolving door and he played hopscotch on the crosswalk. I don't know. That one I was just like, well, it's in the movie.
They have him almost get hit by a taxi in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's showing the danger of it.
Yeah. So that's a thing that I wasn't crazy about. The Santa scene. He had prepared all night for Santa to arrive and decorated the whole toy department that he was working in. And that's all true to the book, true to the movie, sorry. And it is the way it happened. He realized that Santa was an imposter. You smell like beef and cheese and you're not the real Santa. You sit on a throne of lies. I think it needed to be set up differently because all
kids are going to be going to see these store Santas.
Those store Santas are Santa's helpers too. They're delivering messages to Santa about what these kids want. These kids are all telling him what they want. And for them to have Buddy the Elf come in and do that in the book here, you know, in the movie you can see that he's misunderstanding a lot of the things in the big city, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't understand it. He grew up in the North Pole, very different from New York City. I like that he didn't go to jail in the book, in that he went to his dad was called to pick him up, equivalent of
instead of
the
calling
principal's
him
office.
to bail him out of jail.
Yeah, and I mean, in the movie they were able to soften it through what was going on, right? And it wasn't a very scary thing. In the book it could be a little bit.
So what
different.
You're saying is
She
what she
wasn't
missed
writing
was
for
the
her
tone.
audience. She wasn't writing for her audience.
Yeah.
She did a good job of a synopsis of the book and keeping important parts and pivotal parts.
Yeah.
But one very important part what she missed was his dad's regret, which could have been just one sentence, still on the same page with the meeting. His regret and how he loved Buddy needed to be before Buddy ran away, not because Buddy ran away. And that's clearly shown in the movie, and it needs to be clearly shown in the book. It's very important.
The tone of the movie is for kids. It's good for kids, and that's one reason
it's
Will
one of those
Ferrell wanted to
family
do
ones.
it. He wanted to do a character that was different from the other characters that he'd been playing.
Personally, I wouldn't recommend this book myself. You know, I go
I'd
through
forgotten
a
about that
lot
part.
of books working in childcare. You have to read them. I suggest to every parent, when you are looking at a book, read it. Read it through.
Don't just assume because of how it's set up or that it's in the kids section or whatever that it's going to be suitable for you. Because every child is different too. Every child's sensitivities and things like that are going to vary between kids. So
you want books that are going to give a good example, and children need to learn how to solve problems and to use their words to express their feelings. You're not seeing that in this book, and running away is not solving a problem. I'm concerned that this book kind of makes things look that way. I don't think they intentionally did that. They were basically just trying to take the movie and put it into a children's book, children's kind of words and stuff, but they missed the mark on a few places. Another thing you can do is use a book as a learning moment. Everything is learning moments, but if you take the book and you talk about it and you say, what could Buddy have done? Do you think Buddy's dad really wanted him to run away? Do you think he felt bad after he said that? Did you ever say anything and feel bad? Things like that.
another thing that would have done that in the book is with the other child, Michael. Because in the movie, when his dad didn't want to leave right away, he said, you know, just let me finish this meeting and then we'll go look for him. Michael says very calmly, doesn't yell or throw a tantrum. him, you don't care about anyone but yourself. And he starts to walk away. And the words hit home for his dad. And that's when his dad says, okay, you know what, just a minute. And then he tells his boss, I'm going whether you want me to or not. That shows an example of a child using their words and being very calm and just telling their parent how they feel.
Kind of showing his dad how his behavior is speaking to him.
Yeah.
You're basically saying that your work is more important than me,
and buddy,
your family, and everything. Yeah, there's some missteps in this book, but you can use those things as conversation points, and you can discuss what are other ways Buddy could have handled this. Love the movie, always enjoy it, watch it every Christmas.
I was very surprised to have loved the movie, but I did. Kudos to
So there you go, that's our thoughts. What are yours?
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought. Did you know that the movie had been adapted sideways into a book? But also what you thought of the movie. Were you like me? Were you nervous that it was going to be embarrassing humor like Will Ferrell's humor can sometimes be? Or are you like her and you love that kind of humor, and as soon as you found out Will Ferrell had a new movie out, you were going out and watching it right away? I know some of my friends that are going to say right away.
Yeah, and if you disagree about the book, if you think that was fine, or if you've had that experience with books where you've read it and thought, ooh, you know what? Don't like what this is saying. How did you handle it? What did you do? And have you changed in your thoughts since then? So love to hear it.
We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell to get notified of when we launch another video. This is the last of our Christmas adaptation series. We just want to take a minute to say Merry Christmas. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye-bye.